Welcome to the next segment of Golden Black Live. Mike Steele. We got that 30 consensus All-American honors, and you're not one of them.
No, and when I brought my grandson to a game 2 years ago, I had number 41. I said, 41's right up there. And he was 10. He goes, Papa, that's the women's. I go, oh, whatever.
Well, there's a guy named Jim Rowinski, number 41.
Yeah.
But Mike Steele needs no introduction, though, because he's on Purdue basketball. One of the great basketball minds, not only in his own mind, but everywhere he turns. Was recruited by George King and Bob King, really, and then, of course, played for Fred Schaus, NIT championship team, played a big role. When the lights were on most in the Garden, you came up big.
Well, it was so much fun. I mean, we had, Bruce Rose was really good, and Park was great, and we just had, it reminds me, like, of what we're doing here now. I mean, we had good guys who all liked each other.
Yeah.
David Luke was a guy that hardly talked to anybody until his senior year, and then he became a great guy, great teammate.
Yeah.
So it was good.
The opportunity, and you filled in for a number of reasons. One, Jerry Nichols' injury late in there, or in that, the quarterfinals of that tournament, you had to come in and play big. But talking, playing with Frank Kendrick, who I know wasn't going to pass you the ball. John Garrett wasn't going to pass you the ball. Bruce Parkinson would have passed you the ball.
No, Park would, but
I
passed it back to Park.
Yeah.
I said when he went in the Hall of Fame, I said the best thing I did is his mom used to say, "I just love it when you're playing." Well, because I'd pass it to him, and I knew if I passed it to him, I'd get to play. I figured that out pretty quick.
Yeah, Bruce Parkinson obviously produced all-time assist leader, but Braden's broken that record.
Oh, he broke it.
That's right. He's already smashed through.
Oh, no,
that's right. I should know that. In fact, you've had a chance to watch this team from afar. You're going to watch it in person tonight when Purdue plays Oakland. But you played on teams with high expectations. It is a challenge when that target is on your back. Matt Painter's good at figuring things out and making things work, and they've got seniors, and you know what that's like. No. What do you see from this team right so far? It's so good.
I went to the Kentucky scrimmage, and you can see we didn't scout, we didn't do the stuff that we normally do, but I think the other thing is that for about a month there, people are talking about will it be a disappointing season if we don't win the national championship?
Yeah.
I mean, that's absurd, and are we going to go undefeated in the Big Ten? And that's absurd.
We're undefeated everywhere, right? IU in '76, right?
There's too many good teams. I mean, like Kentucky was really talented, and then I've watched Arizona and Florida, and they both are real. And Duke's reloaded. I mean, there's probably 20 teams that could go to the Final Four, maybe more than that.
And a lot of freshmen this year, too, guys that have come on. Duke's got a great one. Kansas has got one of the best ones now.
Arizona's got a great freshman. And it's just a different deal. I mean, and when you play basketball, when you go on the road, a bad team can beat a good team, unlike maybe in football, or unlike or if you have a great pitcher and you go play on the road, then he's still a great pitcher.
Yeah.
But basketball, the crowd's right there, the officials are right there. It's any win that we get on the road in the Big Ten. Well, you think about it. 2 years ago when we were really good, we couldn't beat Northwestern at Northwestern. We couldn't beat Rutgers at Rutgers.
Yeah.
So the idea that we're going to go cakewalk through the Big Ten,
ain't happen.
No.
All right, Oakland's tonight's opponent. You know the coach very well there. Of course, he was the darling of the NCAA 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Talk about that in that relationship as well.
Well, Campy was a sophomore, and I was a graduate assistant at Bowling Green.
Yeah.
And that was back when you had varsity and JV.
Yeah.
And he was a good football player. I can tell him he was a lot better punter than shooter.
Yeah.
But he played some, and so I coached him the whole year.
Yeah.
And then he and I worked camp together.
Yeah.
So we go back a long ways. And he came and played in our member guest this year. He's a good guy. And we kid, he was behind Boeheim and behind Krzyzewski.
Yeah.
Well, now they're gone. So he says all the time, he says, there were 3 or 4 times they were going to fire him. They didn't have any money, and the AD quit, so he became the interim AD. And he said every time, the first thing I said is, I'm going to add a year to the coach.
Yeah.
Coach is doing a good job.
That's a very good strategy. Of course, Mike coached at East Carolina. You coached at DePaul. You coached assistant at Butler.
Yeah, with Coach Sexton.
Coach Joe Sexton, of course, Hall of Famer at Purdue as well. How much different, you look at what Matt Painter has to go through. I mean, and what coaches have to deal with today, and Matt Painter's got the best group of guys, probably has one of the best group of coaches you can ever find. But still,
it's awful.
There's a lot of moving parts.
Oh my gosh! And everybody says that the money that it's going to dry up. Well, if you have a billionaire, it's not going to dry up. But you don't need millionaires now. You need a billionaire.
Yeah.
Kansas has got one. St. John's has got one, and so, I mean, the money thing. You used to be able to sell guys like, hey, you're going to get an education, you're going to get a degree, you're going to play with good guys. That's almost irrelevant now, which is sad.
But here, still holds the water. Holds the water.
It is. And how he's done it is, well, here's an example. Coach Lebo, Jeff Lebo, assistant coach at Carolina. He was at East Carolina as a head coach. I saw him this summer. And then Joe Dooley is assistant at Kansas, and he was a coach. So we've become good friends with both of them. And both of them at different times said, Purdue, Coach Painter, he is the model that every other school is trying to do. And that's at Kansas and Carolina. And he said, no, and this, when we got the kid, is it Ertl?
Luke Ertl. Not transfer, but
no.
High school senior.
Well,
from
they
Mount
both
Vernon.
said, at different times, they said, nobody had any idea how good he was until he signed at Purdue, and then everybody
then he got good.
He got good. No, and I've seen some highlights. I mean, he's good.
Well, and I think that's been Matt's secret sauce is getting in on guys early. I mean, Jaden Ivey, even back in the day, they were one of the first guys to offer him. A guy named Braden Smith too. I mean, your buddy Bruce Parkinson had a lot to do with that during the COVID time. When you look at guys and they've seemed to have had, they've absolutely have done it where they've had guys in here that certainly are that mold of player. I mean, he's not going to vary from that from now to the day he quits coaching.
Because you know what, people forget. I mean, if it was, Matt had 2 years in a row where we were last in the Big Ten.
Or close to it, yep.
Nobody gets a third year.
Yeah.
I mean, they just know. So, and again, Purdue's always been pretty patient with, for the most part. But like now, somebody needs to tell the SEC fans that every time you have a football game, one of the SEC team wins, but dang,
everyone's getting fired.
No.
But now you can relate as a coach. If someone gave you a $49 million buyout, you'd happily accept it, would you not?
You notice that when they do that, the coach says, I just want to thank LSU. They're the greatest fans in the world. I want to thank the administration because they got that,
They got to sign the check.
They got to sign the check. No, it's, I don't know. And Purdue still, guys graduate, and there's a lot of places nobody's graduated. Yeah, and I don't know. And every time I think it's going to ruin college athletics, you turn on the TV and there's 90,000 people at Penn State. There's 90,000 people at all the SEC places. I think our coach, we're not going to win. I don't see us winning any more games.
Yeah.
But I thought last week against Michigan, I think he's really a good coach.
Yeah.
I think looks like they're organized. Looks like they really compete. They look like they like each other. Yeah. I think we'll be fine. It's just such a, you can get one or two basketball players and you can
turn things around in a hurry.
Football.
Yeah, it's tough. Purdue, Ohio State tomorrow, 1:00 in Ross-Ade Stadium. All right, now you watch this basketball team. You got to watch Thursday's practice. You're going to watch them play tonight. Every team's got challenges and things that they can get better at. What are you seeing from this group? I mean, again, a great group of effort guys, but it's got to be a little bit of putting those pieces of the puzzle together that.
And I think that the biggest thing for me, and Coach will figure it out, but playing, he's got Trey, who was arguably the best offensive inside guy in the country.
Yeah.
And when you got Clough in there, I mean, they're trying to figure out if he can go outside a little bit, and I think that's once they figure that out, because I thought like in the Kentucky game, it just seemed like they just didn't have any rhythm. They just didn't have any, like, I'm going to be here and you're going to be there. But they'll figure it out.
Yeah. The greatest three-point shooter, they didn't have the 3 points, so you were not eliminated from that competition back when you played. But a guy named Fletcher Lawyer was really, not only has he stepped things up, but he had a career night, against Evansville to open the season. But, he doesn't miss very often, but it's nice to have a guy like Braden Smith throwing the ball.
Without question. And I sent Fletch a text right after the game, and I said, Fletch, you get the name? And he says, the name. I said, the name. I said, the name of the girl guarding you the first half. And he sends me back, he goes, really? I said, my gosh, no, and you know what, like, Braden, I played with a great point guard.
Yeah,
Park was a great point guard. And Braden, he can get 25 points or he can get no points, and he's still huge. He's the difference.
Yeah.
He's the difference. There aren't many guys that do that now. And, I mean, I thought Park was the best.
Yeah.
This kid's better.
Yeah. 11 assists on Tuesday night.
They could have had 15 or 16.
Yeah. And now he didn't shoot it well, 3 for 9, but I think that doesn't really matter.
No.
A whole heck of a lot.
No.
All right, you watched two guys I want you to comment on because you had a chance now to watch them in person, but also you watched them in person a couple times. Omer Meyer certainly is a guy that's gotten a lot of. I thought played pretty well against Evansville. Started getting into the flow of what is expected here. A guy that's got a pro's body. I mean, he's built like anything.
He is.
But what do you like about him?
Well, you know what? Like, I think he's really a smart player.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's really fit in because realistically, those two sophomore guards have really improved.
Oh, yeah.
And they were good last year.
Yeah.
So if I was in a pickup game, I'm not sure that Omar wouldn't be the fifth guard.
Yeah.
And that's pretty amazing, really.
Yeah, of course, C.J. Cox, Jakari Harris,
both
really have
they've improved.
But they're also, I think, Matt Painter's talking about Harris being, he had the slump, when he started last year shooting the ball, shot it very well in Big Ten play, but he does so many other things. This team needs defense. There's no doubt about that.
Those two are in the game.
Can they play together? That's, I guess, my question as a coach.
I think they can, and when they're together, you watch how the defense is so much better because they can put so much pressure on the ball, and they're both really quick and tough. And so, they'll be playing. I mean, we've got a nice. I think the only thing we got to figure out is, and Daniel is.
Yeah, Daniel Jacobson. Yeah.
No, he's really improved.
Yeah.
I mean, we really didn't know how good he was last year because he was hurt all. But the idea we can take a red shirt on a guy like Burgess, who's going to be a really good player.
Yeah.
There aren't many programs in the country that are redshirting guys.
Yeah.
Because guys leave.
Yeah.
They go, I don't want a redshirt, I'll go leave.
Yeah. And they've got a good thing going from that standpoint. When you look at Harris and Cox, and also that Matt Painter's talked about the need for. You got to be good enough on defense. I mean, this team is so good offensively, and I know that that's sometimes a little bit different than some coaches think. But now, that offense is as good as it gets. Is it really a function of being good enough on defense to get the job done? And they got out rebound. They can get out rebounded against Evansville, but they did give up 20 offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
That was probably an anomaly, I think.
Well, and Evansville was, is not very good.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to say. But what hurt us last year in the games we lost was the rebounding.
Yeah.
And we had trouble keeping guys in front of us some. And I think we're going to be – Braden is better. And I think Lawyer looks to me like he's a little bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be better. He's not going to be a great defensive player, but he can be good enough. And he's sneaky. He'll take the charges and flop and do the stuff that he does.
And does it well.
Uh-huh.
All right, now we're gonna get. We got the inversion of the numbers. Number 14, and Mike was number 41, but number 14, Jack Benner, also an interesting guy, and he reminds me. Well, sort of. Actually, he could shoot it better than you can already, but he can shoot the basketball. Now you were from kind of Southern Illinois. He's from Southern Indiana.
He's a smart player.
Very good player. But what do you like about him?
Well, you know what? Like, the first time I really saw him play was against Kentucky, and none of us were any good. Yeah. So I didn't. But then I've watched him the last two against Indiana Central or whatever it is now.
Indy.
Yeah, and Evansville, and he can really shoot. And when you can really shoot and know how to play,
yeah,
you know, guys got to get up on you, and then you have a chance to get by a guy and make a play and pass it. He's better than I anticipated. He's going to be a good player.
All right, you know the landscape of college basketball. I mean, Matt has never backed down, and obviously when you have a team that's as good as it is, they're going to play good teams. But you got next week with Alabama. You're going to play Memphis and potentially Texas Tech, if I have that right.
Yeah.
And then Iowa State, Marquette, Auburn, and then the Big Ten. But that's you look at the again. It's not a foregone conclusion that Purdue's getting to the Final Four, or there's just so many good teams out there, and there's a lot of balance and a lot of young talent across the.
I think the biggest thing it shows is that Painter's not on the last year of his contract.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if he was, there'd be a lot more Evansvilles and Oaklands.
Yeah. All right. When you look at what if there's one key thing that this team needs to as it works its way through the 25-26 season and hopes to improve, what are you gonna pick?
I think they got to figure out the three guys inside. They got to figure out how you can keep Kaufman-Renn with his back to the basket, because he's so good. His footwork, Brantley's done a great job with his footwork is so good. And Coach told me 3 years ago, he said, Mike, he's going to be all conferences by his junior year. And I said, well, there's no way. There's no way. And that's why he's coaching. But it's like when the year that Carson, we went to a game away from going to Final Four. And at the end of the year, Carson was not very good. Yeah. He was horrible. Really. No. And I told Payne,
he shot the ball so bad he wanted to bench him.
Yeah. And then we're playing at Northwestern, and we're up like 3 points or something, and he shoots a shot, horrible shot. Yeah. And I come back, I said, "What's he think?" He said, "Mike, a couple things here. One, you're thinking he knows the score, and two is he was open."
Yeah.
So that's just his.
Yeah, that's his instinct.
Well, I said, well, you got to do something. Well, he did. He let him run wild in the tournament. He averaged about 35 points.
Yeah, one of the great runs of all time.
Oh, like nothing I've ever. Yeah.
All right, I got to ask you, because the last time I think you were, well, maybe not the last time you were Mackey's son Drew was here. How did you get up here without bringing him? Because I know he had his first experience.
Well, he hates to fly.
Yeah.
He hates to fly.
Yeah.
And so he had a great time, and everybody was great with him.
Yeah.
And I think he came because I brought my grandson. Yeah. And we had all the pictures and stuff. And so all of a sudden he's like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as we got home, I said, Drew, we going next year? He goes, I'll think about it.
All right. No, so, all right. You got a long schedule ahead, and I have a sense if you coax him the right way, he'll
I know.
Be back.
I can always get him with food.
Yeah.
And we'll go down to Nine Irish Brothers, and he'll get a cheeseburger and hug Jerry, and So.
And you were hugging Jerry 40 years ago when you were 50 years ago when you were playing. Jerry O'Brien was a friend of the family.
Well, he was a hairman.
Yeah.
That was our NIL. We all got horrible haircuts.
All right. Mike Steele, always insightful. We'll have him on, I'm sure, after he's had a chance to watch even more.
Yeah.
After the new year. But we appreciate your time and enjoy your weekend here in West Lafayette.
Oh, it's always good to come back.
Yeah, and we'll look forward to that. Okay, stay tuned. We'll be back in a couple minutes. And for segment 3, Brian Newbert will join us, and we'll talk a little Purdue basketball as well on the next segment of Gold and Black Live.